What's going on, everyone? Daryl Andrews, Coach D here. One of my LinkedIn lives and YouTube lives and Facebook lives and all of the above. So, um, coming to you here from home today. I found out last week that I have what's called DVT in my leg. I think one of the challenges when you travel a lot, you got to be careful being up in that air because it can form blood clots. And I think the possibility of one of my long flights may have done it, but I'm here to talk about it. And, unfortunately, some people get these things and they are not, it can be dangerous. But so I'm monitoring things. I've canceled a bunch of flights. They say it's about 3 to 6 month process. And, through faith, we're going to believe it's going to be a little sooner, but it's all good. And, for a guy that works out every day and eats right and exercise, it's always the news when you hear things like that. But it's also called being human, you know. And it's also one other message in this message of what's happening medically is you got to be persistent. I had to really press my doctor that I needed to get this checked out because I know my body, being a former athlete, I know my body, and I've had rips and tears, and I know the difference between a rip and tear and deep and something going on with it, deeper than that. And it turned out to be this blood clot DVD thing. But so we're working on it. We'll be fine, and all is well. And so if you find that you need to, this is not part of my normal message what I normally teach, but medically, if you know you need something, you got to fight for it. In the case of doing my situation, I'm glad I did because it's not something to play with. And so that's that. Also today I'm repping my man. His name is call him Mo Bill, Willie Dowdell from my hometown of Syracuse, New York, has created something called Forgiven Fitness, as you can see there. You may want to Google them and see what it's all about. But he trains people. I mean, this guy is my age, and he looked like he's 25. He's physically superior, and trains other people in fitness using the Forgiven Fitness logo. He ain't paying me for this. This is not me being an endorsement for. This is just me seeing an old high school friend that I really am proud of, and want to encourage people to take a look at his work. So again, I do this. I think I'm going to start doing this from time to time. Things that I believe in and people I support, just do it. Again, there's no endorsement or anything like that. It's just I believe. So Forgiving Fitness, I'm repping you today. And Will, if you see this video, man, proud of the work you're doing back home. You and I all have a mutual affinity to help young people. And yeah. So yeah. So again, someone in LinkedIn, like I said, I can't always see the names here, but I just want to put this up as a way of thank you. And like you said, balance is the key, and I'm sure that's relating to um, the message I shared as far as what just happened as far as being diagnosed with this DVT, a blood clot in my leg. You're right. You got to have balance. You have to be wise too, but you also need to know you got to fight. You can't just let people tell you things. That doctor was determined to tell me that I didn't need to get that kind of test, and I was determined to say, "You bet, it's my body. I know what I'm talking about. Write that script." And and so this is sometimes you got to stand for what you believe in. But today, this month, for many of you who don't know, our work is in workforce development, but we also do corporate and education related events. We do training and development. We do coaching, we do consulting. But for my workforce development customers, which is an area I've been in for 22 years, today is this month is workforce development month. So I'm going to be interviewing some people. I got a few people lined up to interview to talk about workforce development motivation and strategy. But today I just want to have a conversation about something I've known for years. Many years ago, my wife and I started an organization called FamQuest, and our primary goal back then was to impact youth and families. And so we decided to emphasize work in the area of workforce development because we wanted to empower young people to understand the importance of employment and business entrepreneurism and soft skills. Matter of fact, our company was probably one of the early stage soft skills development companies in the United States. Nobody was really teaching soft skills, the way we were back then, and soft skills being those skills, those interpersonal skills that help you succeed in the workplace. So we were teaching this back in late 90s to young people in our areas of Pennsylvania and Delaware. And we were transforming the lives of hundreds, countless of young people through these teachings and trainings and job placement and working with them, things of that nature. We had created a program by the name of Hype, and that's helping youth pursue excellence. And Hype became nationally recognized because we were having such high success rates, upwards of 90% graduation. Most of the kids are going off to college, the majority, some type of pre-secondary. And these are young people that most people didn't think that would ever happen to. And but I'll say this: I got some keys I want to talk about here that try to motivate young people today in the workplace and around entrepreneurship and business. But we had a couple core philosophies that we stand by, and I want you to think about these if you're working with young people out there in your schools, or if you're workforce program. We have philosophies, and I believe that sometimes it's good when you can anchor your ideologies around philosophies and say these are the things that's going to be the anchor to what we do. So one of the first anchors we had was this: kids are not committed to programs, kids are committed to people. All right. Kids are not committed to programs, kids are committed to people. And what I mean by that, kids don't care about the name of your school. Kids don't care about how much grant money you got. Kids don't care about your funding source. They want to know when they walk in that door, do you care about them? That's extremely important if you're going to do any work with young people. Okay. And I'm not talking about this just from a person who ain't got nothing better to say. Like I said, I've been in this work for a lot of years. We were early stage workforce development pioneer in this space. Kids are not committed to programs. Kids are committed to people. So it's the people within your organizations that's going to decide if these young people are going to succeed within your programs or within your school or your school district or organization or agency or whatever it is. Too many people out here get excited about getting grants or funding. And they get so excited, they celebrate and high five, but then they don't realize the work now has to be done. It's not just about getting the funding. I used to tell my team back then, a little small team we had, that, hey, reality is we're blessed to get this funding to be able to work with these young people. We had funds in Pennsylvania, funding through Workforce in Pennsylvania, and funding through Workforce in the state of Delaware. All right. Matter of fact, in the state of Delaware, we were the first minority-owned firm to ever get what they call a WIA contract, Workforce Investment Act contract. And we knocked that thing out the park. We had some real successful youth programs running here in the state of Delaware. And so the first one is kids are not committed to programs, kids are committed to people. Second thing I want to share with you, second philosophy, and this is powerful. I have school districts all over the country when I would go in and speak to their staff and their students share this one. All right. And that is this: a student with a dream is a student with a future. All right. A student with a dream is a student with a future. However, there's a however in the middle of that. A student with a dream is fueled by a caring adult who believes in that dream. So number one, you got the dream. All right. So a kid with a dream, it's important. If you agree with me, just type in the chat feature here. I would love to see it. Again, for some of these, I can't see them because the way StreamYard is situated, but I'll respond later when I go to the different sites that we have here. But, the dream is really a glue towards success for young people. I have found in our work that young people that have a dream stay away from drugs, stay away from, risky behavior, stay away from all those things, because the dream becomes the goal. It becomes the motivating force. All right. And so, but when you have an adult, okay, that's in the middle, working with them and encouraging them and inspiring them, almost like mentor like, then that helps to elevate them to that next status of taking full responsibility for that dream. Every young people, I don't care where they come from, people talk about home life. I got 4 kids and they need mentors. Okay. Everybody needs a mentor. Everybody needs a caring adult. They can't just be mom and dad all the time. I love your mom and dads out there, but you are not your kids' everything. Okay. Sometimes your kids need other people that can help them. Don't get caught up in that belief that it's just about us. It's not, especially today. It seems like that's the way it is now. When I was growing up, I had a whole community of people speaking into my life. Some of them shouldn't have been speaking into it, but still, I learned from that too. All right. Some of you out there know what I'm talking about. But the reality is today, kids need to have people who are behind those dreams saying, go get them. I believe in you. And trying to inspire them towards that dream just as much as the drug dealers and all that, trying to inspire them to do the wrong thing. Okay. And so again, this is a line. I'm giving a little inspiration around youth motivation, but I also want to talk about, this whole thing of youth in business, because one thing that's being missed out, like, in workforce, you have these different, terms like WIOA, Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act, and they have this thing called the 14 elements. Now, typically with the 14 elements, there's only like a few elements that seem to be the primary focus of most workforce groups. But there's one that they just don't seem to do a lot with, and I don't quite understand it because it's like the most inspirational aspect of the 14 elements of WIOA, and that's entrepreneurism. Write this down as a note. Young people today love entrepreneurism. Why? They grew up with it. They're celebrities. They're, for instance, like athletes. Athletes aren't just athletes anymore, they're business people. Musicians aren't just musicians anymore, they're business people. See, when I was growing up, they were just musicians. Think about this. Let's talk about the psychology of this. Marvin Gaye was just a musician. He wasn't a business owner. Okay. All right. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was a basketball player. He wasn't a business owner. They made their money doing sports and entertainment, but these kids have grown up in a world where they literally have watched their idols operate businesses. And so one way we're going to inspire young people is by helping them embrace that love for entrepreneurism. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not, we want them to get jobs. Yeah, we do. That's a good thing. It's great to get employment, but some of them want to learn how to run a business. All right. And it's something that I've mentored. I can't even count the number of young people we've mentored around this, because we know that young people love entrepreneurism. So just a few things to think about as far as helping our young people when it comes to workforce and business is help them find their passion. Now, that's my message. I've been sharing that message forever. My book, The Purpose Living Teen, The Teen's Guide to Living Your Dreams, has been a national bestseller when I first wrote it, because it was about helping a teen through a process called passion mapping or affinity mapping, taking their gifts, talents, and abilities and turn it into a business or a career. For instance, like you have a lot of young men that would say, I want to play basketball, I want to play football, I want to, everybody gonna be this next great everything. And what I share with them is that, every basketball player needs a coach. Every basketball player needs an agent. Every basketball player needs a sports journalist. Every basketball player needs a sports therapist. You go down the line and you help them map it out in a fun way that they can engage within it. And you'll be surprised how young people, once they get exposed to this information on their terms, not us just throwing stuff at them or putting them on a computer doing an assessment, they don't get excited about that. But sitting down with them and helping them map it out, maybe with their peers, it changes the landscape. It does. I'm sorry, I'm getting all kinds of calls here, but I don't know why my phone is even on. I thought it was off. Okay, sorry about that. Busy phone today. All right. And so it's important to understand the first thing is that help them find their passion, work with them in that process, help them map out their affinities, help them connect to them as well. All right. And then number two is just focusing on entrepreneurism. Young people are interested in learning about business ownership. They are. And so you may say, if you're in a workforce program, I want to get them in and just get them into summer employment or some type of employment or apprenticeship. And that's nice. But is it something they're doing because you're asking them to do it, but it's not something that they're interested in? All right. So there's going to be a lot of kids that want careers. Don't get me wrong. And we got to keep pushing that too. But some of those kids, maybe there should be some type of some job shadowing around entrepreneurism. Okay, your summer employment is going to be working with this entrepreneur to learn how to run a business. It's a whole new way of thinking. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, all right. I'm giving that one to you. All right. It's something to think about. Instead of saying, okay, we just want to put you at this store, we want to put you at this restaurant, put you over at this nonprofit. Let me put you with an entrepreneur and learn how to run a business. Okay. Why can't the apprenticeship be with small business owners trying to learn how to run a business? Okay. Because again, that's something that they're interested in. Okay, we're trying to get them to be interested in things that see our generation. We grew up. You get a job, stay on that job for 5,922 years, and you retire, get your gold watch. All right, these kids aren't trying to hear all that nowadays. Even adults aren't trying to hear it. You can see with this whole great resignation, people have changed. The gig economy is taking over. Everybody got a gig now, you know? And so what I'm saying is that knowing that we need to sometimes shift our old ways of thinking and get on board with what's going on now. And then because what we'll do is we start blaming folks. Well, those kids are just that way because X, Y, Z. No, we're not monitoring the times. So focusing on entrepreneurism and then also help them create what I call dream teams. We've done this multiple times with different youth groups we've worked with over the years. Like I said, I don't do as much as I used to. I have other people now speaking to youth within our organization. We got some youth speakers and all that. So if you want to learn more about that, reach out to me, of course. But we help them create dream teams because what we said is this, and this is something many of you've heard me say before, but I'll say it again. One of the primary messages we're sharing with these young folks is show me your friends and I'll show you your future. So you show me 5 people you hang around, show you what you want to do with your life. All right. And so when you get them to understand that, then they're gonna realize, okay, I need 4 or 5 people that's gonna run with me towards my dreams. Not people that are gonna pull me away from them. Run. So you would think, well, they should just know. No, they don't know how to do this stuff. Like the stuff I'm talking about, especially if you grow up in certain environments, nobody ever taught you this stuff. Nobody ever taught me this stuff. I had to learn. I didn't grow up around all this. So I had to learn. And once you learn, there's enough sharp young people out here that will run with this information. But you got to teach them in a way that makes sense to them, through a workshop, through coaching, through, a variety of different vehicles, some type of innovative, neat, cool type online source, things like that. So I'm going to get ready to end this. We're at about 18 minutes, and I don't like to go more than 20 minutes with these. But the thing is, young people today, we need to make that connection to young people in business. I love it, to be honest with you. I love the times we're in because I really believe with all my heart that we got some of the most brilliant, innovative minds out here. And not everybody's going to work in an office building. Some of these young folks are going to be the next Bill Gates. They're going to be the next Oprah Winfrey. They're going to be the next. And when we encourage them with that, then we encourage them around their real purpose. See, I was born to be an entrepreneur. I just never had interest in anything else. I've never had interest in anything else because that's just who I am. And there's a lot of other young folks out there. That's who they are. They're growing up with it. And I had to find mentors. And matter of fact, I was so early stage with entrepreneurs, and most of them couldn't understand what I was doing. They just couldn't understand it. Like, what is all this entrepreneur? What is he doing? He's like, he don't have a job. You're up here trying to be innovative. Get a stinking job. And I had a stinking job. I had a great job with a great company, Abbott Diagnostics Division. Could have stayed there and retired and set off into the sun. But it wasn't my calling. It wasn't a calling that I had. So anyway, help our young people understand business. Start looking at internships around working with entrepreneurs, small business owners. I'm actually looking at bringing on a few interns with my company to help, with some technology things and with some marketing things. So I'm looking at that right now as we speak. So if you know some young folks that want to talk about getting into working with a small business owner, let them know, send their CVs, resumes over to me because I'm looking right now because I want to groom some of these young folks and teach them some skills that can help them to go off and take their entrepreneurial determination and turn it into something special. I've been doing stuff 20 something years. I've raised my 4 kids and married and wife and, being a business owner. You know what I mean? I've never had a hiccup to the point. I mean, I've had some challenging times, but we've been maintaining this thing for a long time. So I have a lot of knowledge and I love it. For me, it's just who I am. So anyway, as I get ready to go again, I'm repping my man from Syracuse, Mobile. All right. Willie Dowdell's Forgiving Fitness. I may start repping other people's stuff. I think Dr. L, I got to rep you, man, what you're doing over, what I choose to stay in Delaware. What he's doing with the kids in the schools, and he's a world-renowned speaker, trainer, and gets invited to education organizations globally, but he stayed in school, and he's a principal. He said, I'm not leaving here. My man L out there, proud of you too, L. So I got to get, when you're shirts and start and rep you in some of these, man. But Will, I'm proud of you, man. Proud of the work you're doing. For those who heard me in the beginning, I've got a DVT, a blood clot in my leg. Keep me in your prayers. And if you have any questions, of course, reach out to us at my here. Just inbox me here, um, and or you can go to our website, coachdspeaks.com. And, just you may have questions or anything like that, or if you're interested in learning more about some of the things that we do. This is just one area I want to talk about today, and it's not a primary area anymore. But we had so much success with young people, so much success, and those principles still apply today. They really do. So that's all I got for you today. Take care, and we'll be up and running here with a few. I got, like I said, I got a few people want to interview for Workforce Development Week, and so we'll be coming back to you with some of those and just some more wisdom, some of that I call Coach D wisdom. Take care now. Bye bye.